As a child and teenager, I had never met any scientist. I didn't know what a scientist was. I'd never heard of a PhD until I was at least probably 19 or 20 years of age. So the idea of becoming a scientist as a child in the Wirral in the United Kingdom was basically incomprehensible. I'm Andy Pearson. I'm a senior groundwater scientist at ESR, and my research speciality is on groundwater quality and drinking water safety with a view to protecting human health. Despite my current role as a senior groundwater scientist, at school I didn't have much interest in science at all. I remember being bored pretty much to tears in my geography class, but for some reason I seemed to have enjoyed the punishment and signed up to do a geography degree. It was there really that I first became interested in environmental change and how landscapes and water change through time, through environmental impacts and also human impacts too. There are quite a few different research projects that I'm working on with the groundwater team. One of those, which has recently been completed, was looking at using wood chips to mitigate and remove nitrate from groundwater and convert that into nitrogen gas, which makes up most of the Earth's atmosphere. Groundwater is essentially the water beneath the surface and is actually flowing or moving through different pores or cavities between different rocks and represents 99% of the world's liquid fresh water. So that's the fresh water that isn't locked in ice caps. So it's a really important resource for agriculture, for drinking and for human health. I'm also co-leading a project looking at the impacts of saline intrusions. So as sea level continues to rise, what is the scope and extent of seawater intrusion into those coastal aquifers and how will that affect communities in those areas? Perhaps the most rewarding aspect of my job is working with Pacific Island nations to enhance their water security. Pacific Island countries are extremely vulnerable to climate change because many of them are low-lying, they're at low elevations, and so as sea level rises, they're much more at risk of saline intrusion and flooding and other coastal hazards. And with increasing population are expected to lead to increasing water demand. Through my work at ESR, I'm extremely privileged to work with our Pacific team to help design water quality and groundwater monitoring programs, provide training and equipment, and hopefully those colleagues have learned something from me, but I've certainly learned a lot from them. One of the best things and most rewarding aspects of my job is working with different stakeholders and collaborating with different scientists with different research backgrounds, different research interests. All of those people have made me think more critically about the world and about science and about our interactions with water. What I really want to achieve is to make a difference and use my science and research to inform decisions, inform policy and ensure that water is safe for people both in New Zealand and in the Pacific.